following podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Remember, the first rule of gambling responsibly is to bet with your head and not over it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cousin Vito's Casino Podcast proudly presents your guide to enjoying gambling. And now, direct from the bar, your cousin and mine, Cousin Vito!
Whoa! Welcome everybody to Cousin Vito's Casino Podcast, your guide to enjoying gambling. And I'm your host, Cousin Vito, and together, we're going to make luck happen at the casino. And thank you for checking out this very little petite episode here. I'm here with Dealer X. Dealer X, are you there? We got the private phone lines on here. This is very confidential stuff. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I'm here, Vito. I'm here.
All right, we have Dealer X back on the show. How are things, Dealer? Any casino trips to talk about before we get into our pigskin picks? We got to do at least, a little casino talk.
Yeah, just got the itch a little bit. I actually just got back from Las Vegas.
Ooh, Las Vegas. Well, first, where'd you stay?
I did 2 nights at the Park MGM, right in the smack in the middle of the strip.
Very nice.
And then moved up north, stayed at the Stratosphere for a little bit of the older Vegas feel.
Wow, so that's exciting, though. A lot of times when you go to Vegas, that's the best thing to do because you could usually get a few comp nights somewhere, a couple comp nights here, a couple room rate discounts.
Exactly what happened.
And you spread your play around, and it's like it makes the trip feel more exciting, too, in a way, especially if you go to one place and you're like, I don't know about this hotel room, and then you got the nicer place or the nicer room later on the trip to look forward to.
Yep. It's exactly the opposite, however.
From the MGM to the Stratosphere.
Yeah, our park room was fantastic. Our Stratosphere room was... we had a wonderful view out our window of a brick wall.
Ah, the brick wall. Now, did you go up to the top there? Obviously, I mean, it's kind of rite of passage.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And how was that?
It was pretty cool. I gotta admit, it was pretty cool. We could see everything.
Now, did you did you jump off the building on a bungee cord or get flung around on like a little spinny thing?
None of the crazy stuff, no.
Okay, yeah, no, I've seen that video, and I was like, I don't even know. I get enough, agita with all the gambling. Never mind getting flung off the building,
for
too.
Sure.
Now, how with the observation deck? Did you have any height fear, or did it feel like you were super high, or did you just feel like, I'm in a tall building?
I mean, you definitely felt up there, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a building. It's a really tall building, but it's just a building. So no real agitations or fear.
So I recommended that Park MGM though, that's for sure.
Yeah, Park MGM was super nice.
And how'd the gaming go? Any good gaming stories on this trip before we get into the little?
It was pretty good actually. Strangely enough, I mean, I'm almost 100% a craps player. Just
very nice.
Nothing else excites me anymore. But actually, I didn't play craps at all for the entire trip because I was completely enthralled with face-up Pai-Gow poker.
Really? I knew you were going to say that for some reason. Like I was thinking, what could have really gone under his skin? And I've been looking at the face-up Pai-Gow too. I've been doing a little reading about that. It looks fun.
It was awesome. I mean, it probably didn't hurt that I won the first time. It's not even offered in our area, so I hadn't played it before, and I just gave it a shot. And it probably didn't hurt that I won, like I said, but I had its hooks in me for the whole trip. I was waking up in the middle of the night while the wife was asleep and going downstairs.
Wow, that's how much fun it was. And did they have any interesting bonus bets on there?
There were some bonus bets, but I'm real boring. I'm if we're talking Mark and Dr. Mike, I'm definitely a Mark. So I just played the main bet, skipped all the side bets, let everybody else have that fun.
Yeah, no, I do it on and off. I'm the worst type because I only do it part of the time. Like I do it if, because they got to make change. So sometimes if I have the change, I'll be like, I'll put a couple bucks on this, do it on that. If a term comes out, we'll press it or whatever. But I'll be that guy that's sick when it doesn't happen because I'm like, I should have. I almost did it.
I just played it for 5 hands in a row and it just stopped.
Yep. So I love the agony of defeat. I'll tell you. But and Pai-Gow's nice and slow too. So you got to play, have some nice cocktails.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I didn't bring a super big gambling budget because I was with the wife. We were just doing some touristy Vegas stuff, but I squeezed a couple hundred out there and made it last for the whole trip with that Pai-Gow.
Well, so sometimes that's the way when you go to the trips to a casino area and you go to Vegas, sometimes the trips end up like that. It's like it is great to play. I know, obviously, when I go out there with Cousin Mikey or somebody, you go out there with the guys, you're really playing. Real. Or even with my wife. When I went with my wife, we went and played and ate. But, sometimes there's trips where you have stuff to do, and it's like, that's how it is. You get that time in, and you really have to almost budget your time out to say, what do I want to play?
Yep, absolutely.
And it was that good. It kept you away from the craps table. It was that good.
Yeah, every time I kept meaning I was going to swing down to a couple spots on Fremont and play some dice over it. I heard great things about the Golden Gate and El Cortez and all that. And I went and looked at all these places, but I didn't stop and play anywhere.
Wow, the Face Up Pie Go. I got to get involved. I got to get the Face Up Pie Go in my life.
It was a good time.
All right. Well, anything else of note? Any good meals? And you did some touristy stuff. Any good tourist attractions that you would recommend?
We went to the Wax Museum. The Wax Museum was pretty cool. A little shorter than I thought over at Madame Tussauds.
How were sometimes the pictures, they look like they're wax, but I hear in person they look really realistic.
It was pretty realistic. I mean, if you caught it at the right angle, you could see a little bit of sheen and you could tell. But I mean, if you were kind of lost track of where you were and you turned around, you're like, hey, what's Will Smith doing in here?
Wow. Yeah, I went to one years ago in New York. They have a Madame Tussauds in New York, I think.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell it's called. Is that what it's pronounced? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I've been pronouncing it.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll go with that. All right, so the Wax Museum was interesting, but
it was pretty cool.
Now, did you watch the games this weekend? That's what's really important.
I did. I absolutely did. I was on the plane. My plane got delayed a little bit, so I missed the first hour of the early games. Stuck up on the plane, but after that, I was in.
Not too bad. First hour.
I will admit, the first thing I do after the plane touches down was, open up your NFL app and check all the scores, and I think the score was like 42-7 or something in the Miami-Baltimore game. That would give me a little bit of a throw.
You must have been like, did I get out of a time machine? What's going on? How did they score so many points?
Yeah, that was a bit of a throw.
All right, so are you ready for some football?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm always ready.
Here we go.
Cousin Vito's Pigskin Picks.
Woo-wee! Dealer X, how was that week one NFL? I got to tell you, I was on the edge of my seat. The Ravens, other than the Bears, they were depressing for me. My poor Bears. Trubisky, I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. But other than that, I had a blast.
It was a weird week. Just who would have thought some of these things? The Cleveland Browns go from mortal lock for the Super Bowl in everybody's mind to losing to the Titans and just a complete blowout.
And that Titan, obviously it could have been Cleveland's offense was missing a beat, but the Titans D, they look good. They're
sure
a
did.
Sneaky team now in that division. Andrew Luck's out of there. The Titans, oof. If you could buy low on the Titans in the stock market, you might want to do that because they could sneak in as a wild card.
Yeah, it's interesting. There was so many high-scoring and low-scoring games. It just felt like everybody was a little sloppy, a little just waking up yet. But it was a fun week.
And the Pigskin Pick, it's an Eliminator Challenge. Dealer X, I think we're going to end up changing it one day to the Cousin Vito Eliminator Challenge. So the Eliminator Challenge here, we didn't lose that many people. We lost 1, 2, 3, 4, about 12 people we lost. And the Browns did a lot of people in here. The Bears, the Jets.
I can see that.
We had a bunch of them. And I got to say, I have a cousin, Anthony, keto all day. He didn't even make his pick. Cousin Anthony, if you're listening, shame on you. So now that he's out of here, and my buddy Big Lou, Bam Bam Bigelow, went with the Browns. Well, what
Big
about
Lou.
I usually don't criticize stuff, but it's like, the Browns, you're really gambling because these guys, they're never all played together before,
Yeah.
It's like you kind of want to go with tried and true home team that's good. So we'll see.
At the end of the day, you did it to yourself. There was hype on the Cleveland Browns, but they're still the Cleveland Browns. You're playing with fire.
Yeah, so there you go, Big Lou. I'm rubbing his nose in it too. So, and the other people, sorry about that, but Big Lou, All right, so I'm gonna get into the picks here. Let me. Here we go. We got to go a little clickety click here. All right. It's time for the Week 2 Pigskin Picks here. And what we normally do, Dealer X, I know you were in Vegas last week, so maybe you didn't catch last week's show. What we're going to do is I go over really the top 3 most popular picks on ESPN. We try to pick from those. We try to be smart pickers, but if there's something out there that you see that we don't talk about, feel free to throw it in there because, I'm a safe guy. I try to do the Pigskin Pick'em as smart as possible when you start because all the teams are open. So, First of all, the most popular team right now is easily the New England Patriots going into Miami. They
Surprise.
are 36% of ESPN users are picking the New England Patriots going into Miami, which, you know what? I like it, but Miami, as crazy as it sounds, now this is going to sound ridiculous after what we saw in week 1. Miami has given the Patriots trouble before. Is this a trap?
You're not going to believe it, Vito, but when you asked me to come on for this show, the first thing I thought was, I wonder what he thinks about this Patriots-Miami game, because I just don't trust it. It's so many points. It's a divisional game. The Dolphins are at home. They usually give the Patriots at least one run for the money a year, and I want to wait and see at least 2 weeks of the dumpster fire before I completely buy into this Chase Miami train.
Oh, definitely. Well, also here in the Eliminator Challenge, DLX, I'm not against the spread though. So this is no spread. So I'm taking the Patriots on the field.
That's very true.
So but still, you never know. We'll move on. So we might go back to the Patriots. I'm going to lock it in live here. Game 2, we have the Arizona Cardinals going into Baltimore. And I already am telling you, I like that more than the Patriots already. I like these Baltimore Ravens at home. Kyler Murray, he made a comeback last week, but he's not in Kansas anymore. He's in Baltimore, and he's against the Ravens, who are ready to run some people over, I feel like.
This is definitely one that I like a good bit. Personally, my strategy in these is always to don't get too cute with it. Don't pick the Tennessee Titans, even though they won last week, when you don't have to. But I like to avoid your top-tier teams, and I'm starting to think the Ravens might be one of those top-tier teams by the end of the year. So I kind of want to hedge away from them myself.
See, that's smart. See, I'm like, I live on the prayer. I go week to week and just make my best guess every week. So maybe I'm going to learn a little bit today, Dealer X. All right, so I'm not going to click it yet. We still have another game to go here. So with 10% of the picks on ESPN, we have the Carolina Panthers at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I like the fact the Panthers are at home, but I just don't want to get involved with Cam Newton. This Cam Newton and Jameis Winston here. Winston could throw for 400 yards sometimes, even though he stunk last week. And Cam, he could throw for 100 yards. So I don't know what to do here, Dealer X.
Yeah, the Vegas spread on this one has the Panthers as a pretty decent favorite, but this one scares me. Like you said, Jameis is a little bit of a ticking time bomb. You never know when he's going to have that 450-yard, 4-touchdown game. He might throw 3 picks in the process, but I don't like tangling with this one either myself.
So normally we do 3, but we're going to do a special 4 this week, because there's one that's pretty close here that I'm looking at and I kind of like. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into Houston to take on the Houston Texans. Both teams are 0-1. The Texans really put on a show against the Saints, and they ended up with a loss, but, they impressed a lot of people. And the Jaguars, Nick Foles has a broken collarbone. It's going to be an interesting week here, and maybe this might be the time I can take the Texans at a safe game where I don't have to worry about some sort of crazy turnover, or what if Watson gets injured. I could just relax here.
Yeah, that's very possible for sure. The Texans, their defense looked a little sloppy, but the offense really got clicking last week, and who knows what we were dealing with. We didn't know what we were dealing with the Jaguars when they had Nick Foles, and as much as their backup looked great last week, he was the backup. Let's not get crazy.
That's the thing. I think it was 88% of his passes.
I believe it was something like 22 for 25.
But I'm worried about Minshew. Now I'm worried about. This should be on paper a home victory for these Texans after a brutal loss.
In theory, I could see that one. I like that pick.
Oh, jeez. All right, so I'm gonna have to narrow it down here, and gosh, you know what? A Dealer X. I can't let you sway me. I'm making a decision. I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna go Baltimore Ravens against the Cardinals. I'm thinking Kyler Murray. He's a young guy. I like going against the rookie quarterback early on before he has his bearings. And I just want to make it to week 3 so I have something to look forward to.
I can't blame you.
I am a short-term success type of guy right now.
I can't blame you one bit. I can see trying to get against Kyler Murray early. He could be. He could end up much better later.
He could be
a
sneaky a slayer later on if they go 1-5, 1-6, or so. Maybe I'll take them against the Cardinals, and he could have a big game one day and run over somebody who isn't prepared for him. So I'm gonna try and get him now. I like the Ravens at home. And, I'm just going to go with the gut here, and I'll probably be crying in the future. But, that's how it works. I got to tell you, though, what the worst thing is? When I do this and I'm eliminated early. If I'm eliminated early, it's like I'm doing this every week. It's like, the pain. The pain of doing this
everybody
every week.
Wrestle for your money.
Yeah, it's like that. So I'm playing a little defensively. I got to say, it might not be smart, but I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve with this pick'em this year.
Understandable. I like it.
All right, so that's our Pigskin Pick'em this week, and this is a little petite filet episode here, we're going to call it. So what's going to happen right now is I'm going to be playing the audio from a YouTube video I'm working on, Dealer X, and I sent this out to a handful of people. I've been working on a gambling on television video. So I used the video from the Perfect Strangers, and I put like a monologue over it. So it's like, one of those YouTube videos you watch.
Sure.
Pretty scientific there when I'm it's not exactly a get rich quick scheme, let me tell you. So I've been working on this video, and basically in the show notes of this show is a link to Perfect Strangers Gambling on Television. And in short, Cousin Larry and Cousin Balky technically, theoretically, would win over $1 billion if they had the success at the roulette wheel that they had on this episode. And what this is kind of like a little rough draft. So I want everyone to give some feedback. You can send feedback to cousinvito@gmail.com. So you're going to be able to listen to it now. I kind of made it purposely so you could listen to it also because I thought of it. When I make it, I could use it on the show. So this is an experimental piece for those who are going to listen to these little mini baby podcasts, Dealer X.
Okay, for sure.
And you took a look at it. Now, I know, I send stuff out for critique. It's going to get critiqued. Can you give me, I'm putting you on the spot here, so, don't break my heart, but can you give me a little thought on it? We didn't really discuss this yet, but what were you thinking? Is there potential? And I feel like it's missing something, so I'm looking for you guys to give me that little secret ingredient.
All right. From my perspective, being in the casino industry, I think the segment has legs, but I will say that watching almost any of these scenes always has my skin crawling because the actual portrayal of the gambling is always just so poor.
Isn't it horrifying?
It's funny. The showmanship is there, but man, does it make my skin crawl. I believe I was watching this one in general that you were speaking of and watching the roulette scene. He doesn't even mark the number.
Oh yeah, and I don't even. When you watch the episode, it looks like Balky buys in, but I'm curious as to what the number. It looked like they were just paying him 1-to-1 is what they were doing. When he would hit a number, They just paid him 1-to-1, and that's how they were doing this math of them winning. But really,
yeah, I have no idea. A lot of it made my skin crawl, but it was funny. I think it has legs.
All right, so perfect. I'll take that. I'm not going to pry anymore. That's enough. But everyone out there, take a listen to this right now, and if you want to listen to it, but also head to the show notes, and there's going to be a link to an unlisted YouTube video, the most recent one. And I actually, Dealer X, good thing I sent the thing out. Mark from You Can Bet On That helped me. I wasn't taking into consideration that. So, for instance, let's say you put $1 on number 34 at the roulette wheel. I'm going to get paid $35 for that, but I'm keeping my dollars. So when I was doing my math as it scaled, it became very skewed because, you're winning $1 million on a roulette spin. That bet you put in for it makes a difference.
Yeah, for real. When you're betting $1 million, then you're coming out less $1 million if you're not keeping that bet up.
Yeah, so thank God. So that was the first critique I got. So this is like its second showing. It's not ready for a film festival exactly, but this is like the second sneak peek here. I did it to like the real critics. Now it's like my close group of friends within the podcast world here. And then we're going to release it to YouTube, which has millions of people. I mean, all sorts of stupid videos get thousands of views. I got to be able to get some views with this thing, I hope.
I would hope.
So we'll see. It's like a big, long podcast commercial. So everyone sit back, relax. I guess you can make a cocktail and take a listen to this gambling on television. And after that, click the show notes and take a look at it. So Dealer X, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're just going to lead out just like that, finish up with this audio, and I'll be back next week, baby. And actually, next week on the show, Dealer X, I have a casino host is going to be on the show, and he's going to talk to you about some pet peeves of his from all of us people trying to use the host to get all sorts of free stuff.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
So that's exciting. I'm excited to release that one, too. And everyone, Fargo Poker's coming up. Go to fargopoker.com at Mohegans. I should have just came back after the video and did this. Go to FargoPoker.com. Check out the times and stuff. I'm going to be at the No Limit Hold'em tournament on Saturday, October 19th. So everyone sign up. I'm going to be staying at Mohegan. Give me an email if you want to talk about it. We've already had a few signups, and we're going to have a promo code next week to join the Fargo Poker Club. We'll talk about all the details then. I'm talking real fast, and here we go. You ready for some gambling on television?
Yeah.
All right.
Cousin Vito presents Gambling on Television. There. I hope you're happy.
I love Vegas!
That's right, gamblers. I hope you're ready to win big, because on this week's Gambling on Television, we join cousins Larry Appleton and lovable Balki Bartakamoose from Perfect Strangers on a trip to Las Vegas and witness one of the greatest roulette runs in television history.
Number 24 again.
Yes!
This episode is entitled Babes in Babylon and originally aired in October of 1986.
Balki, you're not gonna believe it.
As in most Gang Goes to Vegas episodes, we need a catchy plot device to get us to Sin City. Basically, the guys win a contest held by a grocery store for either a new deluxe refrigerator
Or a free trip for two to exiting Las Vegas!
Crushing Balki's dreams, Larry insists he wants the refrigerator.
Well, dream on, because we're taking the refrigerator.
Balki begs.
And now I have a chance to have an adventure, to go one the most famous place in the world. And you want a refrigerator?
Eventually, they decide to settle the dispute with a little bit of gambling.
This is America. In America, we decide these things by the flip of a coin. Drat.
Vegas!
And we're off to circa 1980s Las Vegas. We get some great exterior shots of some classic Vegas neon, including the Flamingo, the Dunes, the Mint, and others. And while I don't think they specify which casino the cousins are staying at, we did a little Twitter research at Vito's Casino, and we've pinpointed the establishing shots indicate they are playing at the Pioneer Club, which was located on 25 Fremont Street until its closing in 1995. So anyway, we find the cousins entering their very 80s downtown Las Vegas hotel room.
Somebody left a beautiful pen.
We got to hear Larry's itinerary.
I thought at 11 we could take the bus tour out to Hoover Dam. That'll get us back here by 4:30. Then it's a 15-minute walk to the Liberace Museum. An hour for the tour if we skip the shoe collection.
But Larry's terrible itinerary is curiously missing something.
You're leaving out the most fun thing of all, the casino!
No, absolutely no casinos.
Larry further crushes Balki's hopes and dreams by explaining they have to avoid the casino at all costs in fear of becoming compulsive gamblers like their Uncle Pete.
Who, Uncle Pete?
Uncle Pete was a gambler. He gambled away everything he owned. His car, his house. We never did find Aunt Susan.
Thankfully for our enjoyment, and with no help from Cousin Larry, they make their way to the casino bar.
What is this?
This is the bar.
What was that we just ran through?
That was the casino. You want to become one of those miserable souls out there?
Yeah.
After Larry walks off to grab the Wayne Newton tickets, Balki enjoys a seat at the bar and immediately gets propositioned by a prostitute.
Hi there. Want to have a good time?
Well, I've already been to the Liberace Museum.
We finally get some casino action and get to watch Balki put his entire gambling budget,
A quarter. I want to hit the slots.
yes, a quarter gambling budget, into a slot machine. And guess what?
There. I hope you're happy.
I love Vegas!
When we come back from commercial, the cousins eventually end up at a roulette table.
It's called roulette. The odds are really against you. Why don't you try it?
We learn Balki's 25 cents was turned into 200 times his investment.
I hit one $50 jackpot.
So like a maniac, Balki proceeds to bet his $50 jackpot on one number.
Good. 32. Now watch your money disappear.
Number 32.
A $50 bet on number 32 would win a whopping $1,750. But for some reason, this doesn't impress Cousin Larry.
I'm gonna have to help you lose your money.
In Larry's efforts to make Balki broke and miserable, the cousins split the $1,800 in winnings into 2 bets.
How much should we bet?
You bet half and I'll bet half. That way, one bad spin and you'll be broke and miserable.
Balky loses.
Now, how do you feel?
Broke and miserable.
Good.
But amazingly, Larry's $900 bet on number 36 wins what should pay $31,500.
Number 36.
Cousin, you won!
I can't get a break.
Instead of celebrating, Larry continues his mission to have a depressing trip.
As soon as I lose the rest of your money, we can go to the show. Let it ride.
Theoretically, Larry letting his $32,400 total ride would win $1,134,000.
Number 36.
Cousin, you did pretty good.
Yeah, guess I would be if I was trying to win.
Not satisfied, Larry quickly moves all of his chips to a new number.
Let's try my birthday.
Number 24.
I win.
Hypothetically, moving all of his chips would result in a $1,166,400 bet on number 24. Winning that would make both cousins multi-millionaires, winning a total of $41,990,400. At this point, instead of celebrating being multi-millionaires, Balky heads to his Wayne Newton show alone.
Wayne Newton is here!
While Larry, who seemingly has a gambling problem after 4 spins at the roulette table, lets it ride again.
Okay, baby needs a new pair of shoes. Double down. Boxcars, let it ride.
Number 24 again.
Thus turning the cousins' $41 million into a theoretical grand total of $1,511,654,400. Not surprisingly, next time we see Larry, he's lost it all.
6, 12, 22, and all the blacks.
Number 7. Red.
Balky, being a decent person, tries to stop Cousin Larry from becoming broke and miserable,
I can't let you gamble away everything like your ugly pig.
ultimately stealing Larry's chips and fleeing the casino.
Balky, give me back those chips!
Number 12.
Larry doing his best Jack Nicholson impression.
Here's Larry!
Assaults Balky to get his chips back.
Cousin Larry, Cousin Larry.
There is no cousin Larry. There's only Lucky Larry.
Lucky for Balky, his possessed cousin Lucky Larry squashes his demons. How? By looking in the mirror, of course.
Uncle Pete.
Cue the thoughtful resolution music.
Your problem is you either go too far or you don't go at all.
Being a great cousin, Balky even offers to cover Larry's losses.
And don't worry about your plane ticket. I'll loan you the money.
Oh, Balky, thank you. I owe you a lot.
Then they celebrate. And that was Perfect Strangers Babes in Babylon. We watched 2 cousins turn 25 cents into over $1.5 billion and lose it all back and more. Admittedly, there's more than one reason this isn't plausible, but as a recreational gambler, I find this episode pretty entertaining. Is it the biggest win in television history? Do you know of any other gambling on television moments? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to tune in to Cousin Vito's Casino podcast every Thursday for more gambling tips, tricks, and fun when it comes to the casino. www.cousinvitoscasino.com